Hey guys, Break here, and today I want to talk to you about how people are making tons and tons of gold in Battle for Azeroth. Now the expansion has been out for a few days now, and the prices are still pretty crazy, but they're starting to slow down a little bit, so now is your real chance to get in there whilst the prices are still really crazy, and you don't want to miss out really on the gold rush that always comes at the start of the expansion, and this one is no different. And I've been selling tons and tons of stuff. Just here, we just sold some more boots for 40k. But anyway, we'll get into that. So yes, we're making a ton of gold, and I want you guys to do the same. So here are my 3 techniques that I've been doing. So the first thing is going to be pretty stacking, or whatever you want to call it. It's basically when you purchase certain materials at a certain price, and then repost them in a nice stack size. So I buy up all of these stacks of 1, 33, 1, 1, 25. All for around 60 gold each, and that would probably, if we bought all that, it would lead us to like 100. So we'd then have a stack of 100 which we would post, and we'd find out where the stack of 100 is. If we go down, I can't even see any stacks of 100. I can see stacks of 200. So we could probably post a stack of 100 for like 150 gold. Certainly we could post it for 100 gold. That's 100 gold per item. So for 100 gold and a stack of 100, that's obviously 10k. And yeah, we're going to make a really nice profit because we'd buy for an average of 60 gold, and we would repost for an average of 100 gold, and we'd make 40 gold profit, and then minus the auction house cuts. But yeah, really easy way to make gold. And if you do have a second monitor and second account, this is even easier because you can just do scans throughout the day. It mostly works for herbs and ore, but there's so many different herbs and ore in BFA. You guys can just constantly run scans, purchase stuff out, and then repost. Also work for leather and cloth and all that as well. Particularly cloth actually, because a lot of people mass buying that, and leather and stuff. So yeah, it's really easy to do, and it can just make you a ton of gold. This isn't even the best example. There were some really good examples earlier. Some ore was going for like 40 gold if you bought out the horrible stacks, and it's quite easy to do, to buy out the horrible stacks. If you get TSM and get a TSM macro going, you can just scroll your mouse wheel through and you can purchase all this really quickly. And yeah, you could buy it up for like 50 gold earlier and post it for like 150, and you were making 100 gold per one. So per a stack of 200, that's 20k profit. And yeah, pretty ridiculous. I was making tons of gold with this earlier, and I'm sure if you guys search on your server, a lot of you will be able to make a ton of gold. And this can happen throughout the year. Like I say, it can happen before a patch, definitely, the day of a patch and the day of a weekly reset even. But it's particularly good right now because the prices are so volatile, and because so many people are buying stuff. There isn't really room to sort of people to reset or people to undercut you, and no one really cares. Everyone wants to level up their professions or whatever. I was doing it earlier when I was searching. I just ignore all these because I didn't want to buy out a stack of 1. I wanted to just quickly buy out the stacks of 200, so I was doing it as well, and a lot of people do it. So if I was to buy out some of these, repost a stack of 100, stack of 200, I'd make a ton of gold, and hopefully you guys can do the same. Anyway, that's the kind of easy method. So our second method is going to be gear, crafted gear. Now guess what, guys? As you can see, it sells. It was selling for even more yesterday, and it's going to sell for even less tomorrow, but it sells, and it sells for ridiculous profits. These cost like 1,000 gold to make, or like 2,000 gold, and I'm selling them for like 40k, 30k, which is kind of ridiculous. These are just the item level 300s. I was doing the same for tailoring earlier, and I've just been doing the same for blacksmithing now. I don't actually have leatherworking finished yet, but when I do, I'm sure the leatherworking stuff will sell as well. So yeah, just to let you guys know, I have got 6 professions maxed out, and you don't actually need to be max level to max out the professions. I really like how they've done it in BFA. So getting to max level, you can unlock some rank 3s or whatever, but they're not actually that powerful compared to the other ranks. So realistically, if you guys just have some alts, I'd get on those alts and get the professions going on them, and it takes no time at all to start, basically to complete all the recipes, and you're good to go. I haven't been playing that much, and I've got 6 professions all sorted. I'm only missing leatherworking and alchemy, but I'm sure I'll get those sorted. And yeah, there's not a whole lot to say in this method, apart from the fact that you just need to look on your server, look what's selling for loads, and, you know, get sorting it out. And these professions are doing really well. They're doing a lot better than I thought, and they're doing a lot better, in my opinion, than the gathering professions, which take a lot of time, and the prices haven't been that great this expansion. I think the crafting professions are where it's at. What have we sold now? We just sold chemical blasting cap, which you can buy from a vendor for 28, oh no, for 1 gold. Buy from a vendor for 1 gold, and I've just sold for 3.4k. So that's interesting. But here we go, guys. A bit of a bonus tip is vendor stuff. People have no idea where the vendors are for professions, and they're so lazy, so they're just going to go to the auction house and buy out stuff that you can just buy off a vendor for 1 gold. And they're just buying it for, look how much I've just made off 1 gold vendor items. I don't know what stack size this is, but it's probably not a huge stack size, probably a stack size of 20 or something. And yeah, just made a load from that as well. So it's all about the crafting professions, in my opinion, guys. Get up some of your crafters and just see what's happening, because there's so much gold to be made. And just check your auction house. You know, maybe one of the gathering or crafting professions is doing a lot better than the others. Maybe, you know, if you get a nice proc as well. That's another thing. Sometimes these proc to 310 item level, and you can post those for a lot more than the 300s, because some people want a bit of a boost. So don't miss out on this, guys. I know a lot of you have been saying, you've been doing a lot of mining or whatever, and the ore isn't selling for that much. Well, dump mining. Just buy the ore yourself, because it's not selling for much, and turn it into some really profitable items. And this took me literally like 5-10 minutes to craft, and I've made a ton of gold off them. Anyway, the third thing, as we move over to my main and the long boy, if you don't have yours yet, why not? After this video, maybe you can afford it. But yeah, it's been great, really useful, this mount. You can just buy stuff when you're, when you're crafting, buy it out, go to the mailbox, which is just around there, and it's all in such an easy place. So I've been really enjoying that. Anyway, guys, the third thing I want to talk about is Expulsom, and how you can actually make a killing off Expulsom. Now, you guys might be saying, how can you make a killing off that? You know, you can't even sell it on the auction house. And whilst that is true, you can create stuff with it, and people don't understand how easy Expulsom actually is to get. Now, Expulsom is used in lots of crafting professions, and it's actually valued fairly highly, because lots of things require the Expulsom, and it is very, very profitable. If we look here, this costs, what, 20 gold times 30 is 600 gold. That's just vendor item. So it costs basically nothing to make apart from the Expulsom, and it sells for like 30k on my server. You go to jewel crafting, and the rings, again, literally cost nothing to make, maybe like 2k to make, and then 1 Expulsom. So it ends up valuing the Expulsom at like 10k, 20k just for 1 Expulsom, because of how it works out. And it's a lot better than Blood of Sargeras, because you can kind of trade Expulsom between your characters. All you have to do is go on a crafter who can get Expulsom really cheaply, such as a tailor, craft a load of stuff, send that gear over to your alt, which wants the Expulsom, and then you can use the scrapper, and you get the Expulsom on your alt. Really, really easy, a simple shuffle, but it works an absolute treat. Not enough people are using it. They probably will be after this video, but whatever, I want to help you guys out. But if I just quickly show you guys one of the shuffles, it depends on your server. I like to use the tailoring shuffle, and if we just go here and buy out a stack of 200 for 5 gold. So if I were to buy them, I would craft them, and then I would either send them to the alt that really wants the Expulsom, or I will just scrap them on this guy if I wanted the Expulsom on this guy, and we would see if we get something. And like I say, about once every kind of 6 goes for me, it seems. I don't actually have the exact numbers. I will get an Expulsom, and it's really useful. But like I say, I would kind of check out the spreadsheets or do some of your own research, because I don't really know what the absolute best way of getting Expulsom is. This is just a way I've found that's been really good, but there probably are better ways as well. If we just make a few more of these, and we'll scrap them, just so I'll show you guys the scrapper in action. I'm sure you've seen it anyway. It's really buggy with TSM. Look, it comes up with this thing, but you can just kind of continue on scrapping. And look, there we go. We've got some Expulsom already. So we spent like, what, 600 gold. And we've already got now 2 Expulsums. So 3 Expulsums. There you go. So we just got Expulsums for like 200 gold each. Like I say, they're often valued at like 10k each. So it really is worth your time to make use of the Expulsom and then go to the crafting profession that requires the Expulsom and make a load of those. So anyway guys, those are my 3 tips. Make sure you make use of pretty stacking. Definitely make sure you get some crafting professions up and running. And definitely make use of the scrapper and the Expulsom shuffle. And yeah, let me know what you guys have been doing to make gold in Battle for Azeroth. I know some of you have been making millions. Others have just been chilling, trying to level, doing your own thing. Both of those are good, but do let me know what you've been doing. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, see ya.